first tonight, the campaign against a deadly craze which claimed the life of a 13-year-old from Ipswich. The so-called choking game has left dozens of teenagers in America dead and seems to be getting more common over here. Now the mother of the victim, Tyler Myson, has spoken about the dangers to make sure people know what to look out for. She's been talking to our reporter, Tom Barton.
It's just over a year since Joe Myson's son Tyler died, and her memory of that day is still extremely raw.
His friends knocked on the door, Ben shouted up, my husband Ben shouted up, no answer. Shouted again, still no answer. So Ben went upstairs and his bedroom door was closed, which is not unusual. And Ben just screamed for me to phone an ambulance. I was numb. I just couldn't believe my little boy was gone. Just knowing that I would never ever see him again.
Tyler was found hanging from his bunk bed in Ipswich on September 6th last year.
Love you, Mummy. Love you, Daddy.
A happy 13-year-old, his mum couldn't believe he'd taken his own life. After some research, she discovered he'd been playing a deadly choking game, and she'd missed the signs because she'd simply not known what to expect.
Bloodshot eyes, headaches, his personality changed a little bit as well, and red marks around the neck, like it's just red lesions around the neck, and high collars. He always had his collar quite high as well, so to hide the marks around his neck.
Joe believes one of the places that Tyler could have found out about this game is on the internet. Now, we're not going to name any of the sites concerned, but there are literally dozens of disturbing videos showing young people playing this so-called game.
I think there's a curiosity factor. I think they're being taught how to do it by watching them. And although, there are other educational videos on the dangers, it nowhere comes close to the number of, user-posted videos.
Now, along with a group of parents who've also lost children to the game, Joe has launched a campaign to raise awareness so that others don't have to go through what her family has faced. She knows nothing will bring Tyler back, but Joe hopes his memory will at least help put a stop to this deadly activity. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Ipswich.
Well, now, the scientific breakthrough in Cambridge that could finally lead to a cure for the common cold. For the first time, they've shown that the body's immune system can fight viruses from within infected cells. It's a discovery that should pave the way for a fresh generation of antiviral drugs, as Russell Hookey now reports.
Sneezing and wheezing our way through work. It's that time of year when we're more likely to be reaching for the tissues than the telephone, as the common cold takes hold. Employee absence cost the UK economy £16.8 billion last year. That's the average of 6.4 days off sick for every working person.
The common cold accounts for more visits to the GP than any other medical complaint. And together, each year, we spend about £500 million on over-the-counter medicines dealing with its effects. But whether it's these or something more traditional, like maybe echinacea or chicken soup, it seems over the years our bodies have evolved to develop a very efficient way at dealing with the cold virus.
Until now, scientists believed that antibodies could only attack viruses from outside cells, and that once the infection got inside, the only answer was for that cell to die. The new discovery shows that antibodies still work while inside the infected cells, meaning new drugs could be invented which will help boost the effect of the antibodies.
The importance of this is that it gives us entirely new strategies for making new kinds of antiviral drug that hopefully we can use to boost our own natural system of immunity and hopefully allow us to get rid of viruses much faster.
And that could cut down on sick days and lost productivity for business.
One member of staff being off means that either their work doesn't get done or it gets delayed because we just don't have the luxury that larger companies would have to offload the workload.
But while this latest discovery is undeniably significant, any new drug would be dependent on several years of clinical trials. It does offer hope, though, that the common cold might one day be consigned to the history books. Russell Hookey, Anglia News in Cambridge.
Not a moment too soon. Right, time for our final number crunch of the series. Let's join Becky and the team now. Becky.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yes, welcome to Stevenage. And the last in our series looking at the challenges